Welcome back to another REAPERBLOG video. This is actually a recap of the stream that I did on January 6th, in case you missed it. I want to condense down my streams into shorter videos for the people that missed them, and I'll put in chapter markers for each of the different topics as they come up. Hopefully this is something that you are interested in and you find this useful. My goal this year is to do 50 streams, so basically every week, every Friday, I want to do a stream. And then I'll take some time off at Christmas. But I want to hang out with you guys and answer your questions and get to know you better, as well as figure out what content you would like to see. All right, so here's the first stream from this year. Enjoy. Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, it's been a while. We had such a good stream right before Christmas that I wanted to do it again. And then today I've been struggling to get started for the past like 2 hours. Just couldn't manage to hit the button. But yeah, we're live and lots of news as well. So new website. That's the first big thing to talk about. It's no longer reaperblog.net, although that link will work. I want you to go to reaper.blog. That's the new site. And I mean, essentially it's still WordPress. It's still the same Reaper blog. It's a new theme. And I've simplified things and hopefully made this good for reading the blogs and watching the videos outside of the YouTube environment. So yeah, it's been a little while since I posted. December 21st was the last one, but I've made a couple YouTube shorts and I've been posting on Twitter and stuff. So, you know, if we look for something that's maybe a little bit more in depth here. So should be nice and easy to read. And if you don't like the white background, you can hit this button in the corner right there. It says light. You can switch to a dark mode, and it's all kind of automatic. And if you find something that is broken in dark mode, I might be able to fix it, I might not. But you know, things like the header image, I was able to just load a different image in that mode. The green button here, I'm not sure if I can fix that, but yeah, light and dark mode. There's no sidebar, there's no ads, just simple. Read the blog or watch a video. Then there's the courses. You can click on the courses header, course button in the header. This page is a little broken. I'm working on it, but this is the listing of all the available courses right now. And if we go to, if you just hover over it, you can log into your course or click through to any of the courses that are for sale. If you didn't know about this, there is a free course that you can watch about mixing. So it's 3 parts, uses only stock Reaper plugins, and takes a song from loading the tracks up to mastering. And it's a bunch of parts. It's a lot of videos. And thousands of people have watched that already, but a lot of people just don't know about it. After the courses, there's a contact us page. Fill this out. You'll be able to email me directly, essentially. You can schedule a private lesson here. It's $50 per hour. That's the new website. One YouTube thing, I had to reset all of the channel memberships. So there's one $4.99 tier. It's $1 less than that a Twitch sub would be, and that's it. So if you want to support the Reaper blog and participate in a live stream with special emotes and stuff, that's going to be the $5 tier. And otherwise, you can do super chats for less whenever you feel like it. There's a lot of people that were already in this $5 tier for, I think 20 months was the highest level. I forget the name of that, but everyone like got removed from that system because I had to delete out all of them to make a new $4.99 tier and get all the perks from the $1.99 tier. So it's kind of a mess. I didn't have like hundreds in the $1 tier. I would have left it if I had like hundreds, but kind of the majority of the people were in the $5 tier, but I just had to like, I don't know, just delete all of it to make it work. May as well just show you this here. Maybe you can see this. This is my Trello board where I've got a big list of blog posts and video ideas, some that I'm interested in, some that are in progress. I'm not prepared to do this one today. 2022 wins and losses. I think that'd be a interesting one because there's some good things that happened in 2022 and some that I don't feel great about. And I don't know if I'm ready to talk about that yet, but yeah. So this is one way that I can track things that are in progress, videos that I've started that haven't finished. I've got the kind of the big list, and things just kind of move over to things until they're in the done category. And I've been tracking this since end of 2022 or 2020. So it's interesting to see how many videos I've worked on. It's useful. It's kind of like if you wrote down things on a Post-it note on a table, and you can kind of move it over to the different sections of progress. If it was like a larger project, you do like if it was a music project, like recording the bass, you put it in the to-do section, and after you do that, you move it over to the done section or to the to-edit section. Oh yeah, this week I started doing some YouTube shorts. I'm not really a fan of the vertical content, but I figure it's not going any away, and there's some shorter ideas that are worth doing in another format. I should at least try it. The first short that I did, I used the YouTube app on the phone. I don't like just using the camera on the screen, but maybe that's more authentic, more like I'm showing you something. That's not my preferred way of doing it. And so I wanted to learn that app, and there's no real editing functions. Like I can't trim the start. I can only kind of redo. You only started enjoying YouTube Shorts after seeing Reaper Shorts. Yeah, well, I have to say, I haven't been a fan of watching YouTube Shorts until I went on to TikTok this week, and that is just a nightmare. It's funny. Like, I guess as bad as some YouTube Shorts are, that's still like better than 90% of what's on TikTok. I was kind of shocked, and I feel like I have brain damage from watching like an hour of TikTok on the For You page and not seeing any single video that I thought was actually entertaining or even from this planet. It's just bizarre stuff. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just seems to be like filler. I don't know. It's just so weird. And then the people that are trying to like be the most popular on that just seem deranged. No offense if any of you enjoy TikTok, but it's just bizarre. Yeah, it does kind of seem like they live sort of thing. I don't want to be a TikTok star. I have no interest in being popular on that app. I just kind of want to try things out, experience a different section of the internet, and see if I can be helpful there. But there's definitely not a lot of content there that's like genuinely trying to help people. Yeah, I don't get it. End up getting sucked into watching like meme compilations and stuff, and they end up being mostly from TikTok. And like without knowing TikTok on its own, you don't really know the value of those meme compilations and why they're so like popular. It's actually extremely difficult to curate that kind of content, I think. So watching TikTok via YouTube is probably the better way for your sanity. David asked, any control surface, macro pad, big knob device will work well for podcast editing. I like the concept, but I'm having a hard time figuring out what actual functions I'd use. I'd say something like the fader port will probably work for you. It depends on the type of podcast. If you're doing a sound designed, layered podcast, then having the ability to automate quickly would be nice. Having some knobs for plugin control, probably useful. I don't tend to automate stuff that much in a normal podcast where it's just a couple people talking. At least on the track level, it's usually item level that I'm doing things. Really just getting a nice keyboard is probably the best investment for you. Maybe a mouse with extra buttons. I use a Corsair Scimitar, which has 12 thumb buttons. And I use like 3 or 4 of them in different positions that give me more, like another option for entering keyboard shortcuts. This is the IQ software for the mouse. 12 buttons, and the annoying thing is you have to enter your assignments first and then click on the key. It's not the other way around. Like you would expect to like click on the one you want to change and then enter the key you want it to send. You have to make the assignment like and then click on the button. It's I don't know. That took me like 2 years to figure out. It is a powerful piece of software. Nice mouse. Feels good, kind of large. And then in Reaper, I'll show you some of the things. So if I go to Find Shortcut, press one button, I've got custom shortcut that turns down the selected envelope by 2 dB. So put in the volume envelope, highlight it, I can press my thumb button and it does that section by 2 dB at a time. And then the button above it is the selected envelope section +2. So just do that. Whatever the mouse is pointed at, it moves it. Select envelope at mouse cursor, insert 4 envelope points at time selection, move selected points up a bit. Up a little bit is a 1 dB change. Then you consolidate undo points and assign it. So a lot of my volume adjustments are just done with those 2 buttons and making selections with right click. What if I want to mute? I hold down the shift key on my keyboard and then press either one of those, and that will mute that section or go to the minimum value of any envelope. And so that is silence selected envelope section. So you do need a custom script that moves the envelope points down by 160 dB, but otherwise it's about the same. Select the envelope, insert 4 points, move the envelope points down. These different buttons, like they're just keyboard shortcuts. So I set IQ to send a keyboard shortcut, like Control-Shift-G, and then in the action list, it's kind of like pressing a keyboard shortcut. So I've got a color toolbar, I've got a super glue toolbar, shrink item by half and ripple gap. That's a good one. Let's say this is dialogue here. Actually, let's say it's a pause between words. I will press this button. There it is. Doesn't always work with a MIDI item, but it will basically ripple edit this section by making this section, the highlighted section, half the length, double the speed. And I'm doing that all the time in my videos, podcasts and other stuff, where I just kind of want to shrink the silence. And as long as you're on frame grid, it works well. So that custom action looks like this. If you want to screen cap that, disable auto crossfade on split items at time selection, time compress selected items by half, quantize items position to grid, set time selection to items, move cursor right of edge of item. Another custom action, select time between items on same track, move contents of time selection, moving later items. And that select time between items on same track, I definitely did a video on that. Item navigation, select and move to previous item, move cursor to end of items, set start point, select and move to next item, set end point, unselect clear selection of all items. So let's say I've got a gap here. It's basically doing that, making a selection between those items. And then if I edit that out, looks like that. So those are actions that I use a lot on the mouse. I suppose an action that will make the envelope go to the max would be useful, but not really. Hasn't happened yet that I needed to. I was trying out this app this week for the YouTube short that I did. It's called VideoProc Vlogger. And there's some cool stuff in here, but I was constantly getting frustrated by things like there's no shortcut to go to the beginning or the end of the project. You can easily extract the audio from a video clip or detach the audio. But then I couldn't find a way to like there's reload. I don't know if reload's really the same. But once they're detached, there's no way to group them together. So as I was doing this, things were getting out of sync. But the weird thing is, like, there's a color and filter editor that's really good. Presets, like Instagram sort of thing. It's all seamless on the M1 Mac, which is cool. And then manual controls for all the image stuff. And then the thing I couldn't find was an invert color thing. So if I've got my new video intro thing, I can't flip it so that it's white on black or transparent with black or white. So that's kind of weird. It's got this this motion editor where you can do these keyframe zoom in, pan things. Oh yeah, and the top track, the video track is always ripple edits or shuffle edits. So I'll grab this one, you can see. They're always shuffle edits. If you want to make a space for something, like if you have a bunch of items like this and you're like, okay, I want to make this come in at 40 seconds, you have to move it over to an overlay track. And overlay tracks don't have audio. And without grouping, you can't attach it to the audio. It's frustrating. Probably less frustrating overall than learning Resolve, because it's a little more limited. You can do a lot of stuff with this, but it's like, if audio is your focus, Reaper is still the best option. If you want an alternative to Reaper, this was an okay option, but a little limited. One thing that I do for every video and nearly every podcast edit is change my master play rate to faster than real time. So, wrong button, this button. So I press Control, Command, Option, J, just because I ran out of a lot of keyboard shortcuts. But that's going to set this to a rate of 1.5. Is that right? Yeah, 1.5. What that actually is, an EEL script. If master play rate equals 1, then do this. Run it a second time, do this other thing. Which is a control surface on play rate change. Set it to this. Next time it runs, it sets it to this. Pretty simple. I didn't write it myself. Pretty sure Christian Fillion did that one for me. But I'm using that on every project, and if you can play back your project faster than is normally possible, you save a ton of time. If you're just like going through, taking out long pauses, breaths, clicks, things like that, you don't have to listen at normal speed most of the time. It's not great for doing like EQ and compression work, but just kind of generally playing the project, hands off the keyboard until you find something that needs to be fixed, bulk editing the content. It's so helpful. And the thing that's really important there is making sure that preserve pitch and audio items when changing play rate is enabled. So just make sure that that's like on in your template. Miss the colored rippling extension. Anyone got it working on an M1? Yeah, I'm actually using X-Frame's version of it. So I would recommend putting that into your startup action. X-Frame's change transport theme element background color according to ripple state. It's a script, so you have to load it into your SWS startup action. So this is my startup action. Load track view 1 and change transport theme background according to ripple state. Benefit of this action, it can be disabled. You can customize the colors. If we go to edit on this, we can set the all color track color to here or here for one track. The extension had less of a delay, I think, than the script does. You can see here I can move a couple notches before the thing changes color. I really like using the mouse modifier for that. Media item, move item, ignoring time selection, ripple edit all tracks. I'm using that a lot. Or I might not want to have ripple editing on all the time, but I want to be able to do things like that. Or be able to make space in a project. I'm doing this sort of thing very often, where I want to drag it rather than maybe like making a selection like that and inserting. It's a little less intuitive. But I do want to see that ripple editing is on in the toolbar, or not the toolbar, the ruler area. And there is kind of a lag because scripts aren't as tightly kind of integrated into the UI as an extension would be, or a native function. But I'm using that on probably every video edit for the past 2 years. I just got this comment. How do you delete or remove a project template? I have several templates that was created as a learning aid. Some are just old. Can't figure out how to get rid of them. Can you help? Yeah, of course. All right, so we're going to go up to options and then show Reaper resource path in Explorer/Finder. And so there's your window with all of your Reaper resources. And so there's a track templates folder right here. And then inside here, organize, delete, whatever as needed. If I could change one default in Reaper, what would it be? Better file management from the start. The argument is like that you don't want files all over the system, or you don't want Reaper creating folders for you and stuff. So things like peak files and auto backups should go into the Reaper media folder that's automatically created anyways. Having those things set up saves so much stress. Because I hate how the peak files mess up your sample libraries with all these, every file you preview. And then auto backups, just, they save my butt weekly. So like, get that stuff sorted out. Because every time I do a one-on-one call with someone, I have to set that up for them. And no matter how many videos I make on it, there's always something that people miss. What setting do you use for preferences audio recording file name format for recorded files? This is definitely in the fresh start video. That is $track -rec pass and 3 digits. And I do 3 digits so that the first recording on this track will be numbered 001 instead of no number, and the second recording being 01. That makes sense? Without this, my first recording would just be the track name. It's not always the best way to number things, but I kind of like it. Bought loopback based on my recommendation, and it works well. Yeah, it does. I'm actually using a different tool right now, but and that's called Caster from Ginger Audio. And I'm using this because it has different like app-based controls. And the volume sliders and the mutes can actually be adjusted via MIDI, which is pretty nice. Just a really nice convenience. Then it's got effect slots, has a record enable, a master record button, loudness metering. I've got my mic going through here and there's some built-in effects for it. So this is newer than loopback, but yeah, loopback is great as long as you don't need effects. Caster has a free version which will let you do, I think, 2 apps plus a microphone. Oh, I think the direct out function. So you see here I've got the switch for direct out to Caster Elgato Wave XLR. This is just allowing me to have my microphone process and then go out to a separate. So yeah, Caster has a kind of a demo that's stripped down, but I found it worth buying. They wanted to like sponsor and have me do a review. I just bought it instead. Yeah, some audio interfaces do loop back natively, but you can't separate it out by different apps with different volume controls and like separate audio streams. How much is, let's go to the website. So it's going to be gingeraudio.com. They're constantly changing their website. I never know what to expect. Caster is $59 US. Their other one's called Room, and it's more of like control room monitoring. For live streaming, Caster has been very good. Room I don't really have a use for. Caster has like 2 main outs, like monitoring out and an output that goes to OBS, for example. The Room one has, I think, multiple outs, but only one of them is available at a time, something like that. But then there's all these different gain stages, talkback mic, effects everywhere, good stuff. Complex virtual loopback on Windows is an absolute nightmare. Flex ACO plus virtual audio cable or voice meter potato. Yeah, it's a pain. I didn't need multiple apps routed, I think. Actually, OBS has a pretty good audio capture thing now, like an app capture thing, so you can use that most of the time. You won't have like a mixer like voice meter would be. If you want to mix down stuff, then things get trickier. Using Caster, I could have everything except Zoom going to Zoom. So I can just make this output Stream Mix 1 as my input in Zoom, and then I could have all my apps going through Zoom. So it would just make sure that this one is not going to the stream output, and then I would enable my mic going to the stream output, and then it would come up there. For doing this in OBS, here's how I got my thing set up. Wave XLR mic is actually the output of Caster for this track. Or it should be, anyways. Yeah, Caster Elgato Wave XLR, but I could choose a different one. And then I've got the Caster source, which is the stream mix. And that's a different mix than what I'm listening to. You can see here that the volume is different levels. So my monitoring level, I can turn all the way down and I don't hear the music anymore. Or I could listen to it at a higher level than what's actually being sent to the stream. All the different things are going to different tracks. So my alert box does not get recorded into the main audio channels of the recording. Caster goes to channel 2 and 3 and not out to the other ones. The mic input on the camera or wireless mic gets on channel 1 and 3. XLR mic goes to channel 1 and 3. Channel 3 is what you're hearing, but I record it as a safety sort of thing. And all of them have monitor off except for the alert box, because I need to hear when people donate and such. Okay, so manual subtitling using Reaper for a video. I'm on a quest to find the best workflow for the Behringer X-Touch and Reaper. I've already looked at using the X-Touch. This ended up being 3 layers, tracks of text, and each one has the text overlay with drop shadow preset that I made, and then there's a bit of automation to grow the text as it comes in. That's just the size over a couple frames. And when I want a new word to come in, that's on another layer. That's not the only way to do it. You could have something to crop it and trim it out, right? If I do, I think I can do this and then, yeah, you can like crop it like that. But it's a little more difficult to do that. Spreading it out across different items. These are just empty MIDI items with that video processor code on there. And then I'm using the rename items or rename take action from SWS. So each of these is just like one word. The music's missing, but. I'm on a quest to find the best workflow for the Behringer X-Touch and Reaper. I've already looked at using the X-Touch just out of the can do with Reaper, but and then there's another one here by Moss for Reaper extension. So just using like words coming in for emphasis. That's how you subtitle your shorts. It's no way to live your life. Yeah, there's probably faster ways to do it. I don't do that a lot because it's tedious, but I feel like that made a huge difference in the beginning of this video. So if I take away all these by muting those items. I'm on a quest to find the best workflow for the Behringer X-Touch and Reaper. I've already looked at. And if I take out the zoom automation. I'm on a quest to find the best workflow for the Behringer X-Touch and Reaper. The video is much less interesting from the start when you don't have some stuff on the screen. And then the rest of the video is very boring. You guys want to watch TikTok until we find one good video? I got 40 minutes left.